The market has gained a bit of momentum and BTC is trading near $52,000. While all altcoins are going up, AVA is showing a price drop. Is this a good opportunity to enter positions? Or is it a sign that Avax is a dead asset and it is better to get out? How can I make money in the ecosystem, and is it too late to buy this coin? And most importantly, how much Avax do I need to become a millionaire in this bull market? These are the questions I'm going to address in this video, so subscribe to the channel and like the video, please, and let's get into it.
3, 2, 1, fire!
On my channel, I talk about popular projects that have the potential for growth in terms of medium or long-term investment. I always focus on the fact that the crypto market is now divided into narratives, new directions and old, new coins and old. Avalanche is a fairly old project that has already gone through more than one cryptocurrency cycle. But during this time, it has proven its stability and is ranked 9th in the list of largest market capitalizations. Right now, a lot of people in the market are making the same mistake, focusing on new projects and narratives, forgetting about old coins and solutions. And I understand why. The market is constantly changing, everything changes almost every day, and it's hard to focus on something old when every crypto channel is telling you about AI, meme coins, and other new projects. A great example and confirmation of my words would be Solana, which showed an unrealistic plus 500% from October to the end of December. And this is a local high, because this is just the beginning, and at the top of the bull market, it will cost even more. And that's when those who bought at the bottom will be happy with their 20 or more X's. That's why I decided to tell you about Avalanche today, because this coin has been off your radar for a long time. Over the past year, the project has only gained X2 in price, but if you look at the work that has been done, you can understand that this price for Avax will not last long. I want to clarify right away that there was a moment when Avax showed 400% growth in just 2 months, but now it has rolled back, so I don't count it. Therefore, I suggest we start with a quick introduction to this blockchain because many people forgot or did not know about Avalanche. Avalanche was founded in 2018 by Gunn Cryer, a computer scientist and former professor at Cornell University. Avalanche was developed by Ava Labs, a US-based company, and its ongoing development is overseen by the Avalanche Foundation, a nonprofit organization based in Singapore. Avalanche raised $60 million in various ICOs in 2019 and 2020, and another $580 million from venture capitalists in 2021 and 2022. By the way, I can't help but mention that even Avalanche lost about $200 million in the Terra Labs scam. As part of their partnership, they exchanged their coins, which resulted in a loss of $200 million on the part of Avalanche. As you can imagine, this did not have a good effect on the price. You see, you get disappointed when you lose $15. Here, people lost almost a third of their investment. But let's not talk about that now. Let's get back to getting to know Avalanche. What makes Avalanche different from most other cryptocurrencies is its structure, which includes 3 separate blockchains connected by a unique network. The C chain uses a customized version of the Ethereum virtual machine to execute smart contracts. The P chain is responsible for coordinating the work of validators and creating specialized blockchains called subnetworks. The X chain simplifies the process of creating and distributing Avalanche's own tokens. In fact, this architecture allows Avalanche to effectively solve various tasks and extend the capabilities of blockchain technologies. Please note that Avax is required to pay transaction fees on the 3 main Avalanche blockchains. All fees are destroyed, and more than 4.1 million Avax have been burned so far. The maximum number of Avax is limited to 720 million. Half of which is reserved for staking rewards until 2029. Now that you've gotten to know the project a little better, I suggest we move on to something more interesting. In fact, Avalanche is a very underrated blockchain that few people pay attention to. When I saw a plus 400% increase in the price of the token in December, I was very curious about what happened and why this asset showed such a price increase. To be honest, I did not expect to see what I found. Since its launch, Avalanche has become one of the most active blockchain platforms on the market, as evidenced not only by the number of smart contracts created, which has exceeded 5 million, but also by the impressive growth in user activity and transaction volume. Here is an example of the number of daily transactions on the Avalanche blockchain. This number is growing faster and faster every month. Just look at the same chart, but for December 2023. In addition, indicators such as TVL and trading volume also show growth. Let's leave the dry numbers behind and dive into the real prospects and opportunities that Avalanche opens for us. Among experts and users of the crypto world, comparisons between Avalanche, Solana, and Ethereum are often heard. There are opinions that Avalanche can take a significant place alongside these giants in the next phase of the bull market. However, it's too early to compare Avalanche to Ethereum, as the latter has long established as the unchallenged leader in the market. Even though Solana has been impressive with its recent activity and rapid price hikes, Avalanche can still compete with it. And along with the price increase, we could see the brush coin trend growing. Tens of thousands of people were making their own coins, earning or losing money on tokens from other founders. But as we can see, the market is extremely fickle. And once the same situation was observed with shitcoins on the Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchains, and now they have moved on to Solana. It was the same with other areas of those blockchains. So it's only a matter of time before these stories come to Avalanche. In fact, this process is already gaining momentum, and I am convinced that we will see further growth of the Avalanche ecosystem and its coin price. And these statistics from Messari are a great confirmation of my words. In Q3 2023 alone, we could see growth across the board. In fact, it is clear to everyone that it is unlikely that Avalanche will be able to overtake Solana in this race, but one way or another, it will take part of the market from Solana, just like it once took market share from Ethereum. And who knows, maybe Avalanche will be the blockchain that creates a whole new narrative. But let's talk about the ecosystem and its growth a little later. For now, let's move on to the latest updates, partnerships, and news related to the project. The last year and a half of the bear market has clearly shown how much Avalanche is willing to develop its product. I could go on and on about new projects, collaborations, and achievements, but I'll limit myself to the most important ones. Avalanche launched the long-awaited Bitcoin Bridge, which allowed more than 10,000 BTC to be transferred from Bitcoin to Avalanche at the peak of activity, leaving about 3.1k BTC on the blockchain, worth almost $150 million. But along with the success stories, there have been some pretty negative ones over the past 2 years. For example, there are rumors that Avalanche is paying some lawyers to tip off the SEC about other crypto projects. We can reveal that the pact directs Roche Friedman and its leader, Kyle Rush, to use the American legal system gangster style to attack and harm cryptocurrency organizations and projects that might compete in some way with Avalanche or Avalanche, sue crypto industry players in general with the goal of creating magnets for regulators like the SEC and CFTC to distract them from the highly commercial nature of Avalanche and the Avalanche blockchain, and secretly pursue Emin Gun Sirer's personal vendettas against individuals. In fact, although a lot of time has passed, this situation still looks very interesting. It is still not clear whether it was a manipulation or the truth. And although the CEO of the company almost immediately tried to point out that they had never engaged in this kind of manipulation, the price of Avax fell into the abyss. And the most interesting thing is that even the most famous and influential crypto figures are guaranteed not to know whether this is true or just a rumor. In general, this situation is a great example of market manipulation because no real facts have been presented that could prove Avalanche's exact guilt in this situation. It's a little strange to me that the situation hasn't been resolved yet, so it's still hard to draw any conclusions, so I suggest we move on. In fact, a few years later, the project showed that even rumors do not stop us from developing in a positive direction. Just look at this list of partnerships and interesting implementations. Management firm KKR has tokenized a healthcare fund on the Avalanche blockchain, highlighting the growing interest in tokenization among institutional investors. Through the partnership, individuals will be able to invest in KKR's healthcare fund through a tokenized feeder fund on the Avalanche blockchain, powered by Securitize. What we're going to be providing to investors are digital asset securities or security tokens that represent an economic interest in a feeder fund of the main KKR healthcare fund. Carlos Domingo, co-founder and CEO of Securitize, told CoinDesk TV. It's a way for individual investors to get access to a high-quality private equity fund from a very reputable firm like KKR that is otherwise not available to them, he said. Few people pay attention to such partnerships, but they bring cryptocurrencies closer to ordinary people who would not use them for nothing. OpenSea has decided to add Avalanche support, expanding access to the Avalanche NFT. Of course, there are now cooler NFT marketplaces for such partnerships, but more on that later. It should also be noted that Avalanche is actively expanding its presence in Asia. Thus, in December 2022, Avalanche entered into a partnership with the Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba to simplify the launch of validators on Avalanche. Such a partnership aimed at simplifying the creation of metaversions will definitely benefit the entire crypto market. With Apple's recent release of some cool devices, the importance of the metaverse will only increase. In addition, hundreds of similar technologies will now appear. Metaverse will not only be used for entertainment and games, but also for work, daily meetings, and saving time and money. Alibaba Cloud and Avalanche continue to transform how enterprises can create value and seize the opportunities of Web3, said John Wu, president of Avax. The Cloudverse, powered by Avalanche, offers millions of consumer-facing businesses a fast, low-overhead, one-stop gateway to Web3. We look forward to seeing how businesses expand into the Cloudverse and continue to build the future with Alibaba Cloud. But if you think Alibaba is the only big e-commerce partner, you're wrong. After all, Avalanche started working with Shopify, and to be honest, this collaboration raises questions for me, because I don't fully understand how much this collaboration is really needed. I don't understand if this feature is really popular on this resource. But it is known for sure that Shopify is a huge giant in the e-commerce market, and partnership with it means a surge of liquidity and brand awareness. Amazon AWS was added to the same list of giants, and their cooperation was aimed at creating a payment tool. In fact, it's really cool when even such big Web2 greats realize the greatness and necessity of blockchain. This is definitely an advertisement for cryptocurrencies in a positive way for ordinary people. But as usual, positive news is followed by negative news. So Avalanche caught a wave of hate due to blockchain failures. This led to a slight drop in price, but the problem was solved quickly enough for everything to return to normal. By the way, Avalanche continued to develop in the field of metaverse and gaming. Thus, a lot of attention was paid to the launch of the Merit Circle DAO gaming subnetwork called Beam, which quickly became one of the most popular cryptocurrencies, reaching a capitalization of over $1.5 billion. In fact, there was a lot of other interesting news, but I don't want to focus on each of them, so I'll just talk about the interesting and important ones. The Ava Cloud project was created, a tool that allows you to build blockchains without writing code. This is an interesting technology that greatly simplifies the task for developers, and although there are various rumors about how much such a project is needed, it seems to me that this is definitely a very good idea that will have many users in a bull market. Did you know that Avalanche has its own racing team? Their team competes in Formula E, which is a huge electric car competition. Just look at the number of viewers for 2023. And it's very interesting that 2023 was the best year in the history of the team. The drivers became Formula E champions. This is the second victory in the last season. By the way, let us know if you know about this team in the comments. Overall, 2023 turned out to be a very busy year, unfortunately with negative news and reports. It turned out that almost half of Twitter followers are fake accounts and bot farms. Avalanche did not comment on this issue, but in my opinion, this is not a project problem, it's the responsibility of the Twitter team. This just shows the general problem of Web2 social networks, where it is very cheap and easy to create a fake account for anyone. In fact, I could talk about the updates for a long time, but it would take forever, so I suggest we move on to the analysis of the project's ecosystem. In the meantime, tell us which cooperation seems to be the best and most profitable for you. The ecosystem itself is pretty interesting and large. I like the fact that you can find a wide variety of products here, from DeFi to NFT, from GameFi to Metaverse. Remember when I said that Avalanche will gradually take over part of the Solana market? The project team is already doing this in the direction of shitcoins. The company's fund will invest in such coins, thus making an enormous contribution to the development of the ecosystem and this narrative in particular. Often inspired by internet culture and humor, these coins go beyond mere utility assets. They represent the collective spirit and common interests of various crypto communities. They are bought based on the number of owners, liquidity, project maturity, and other factors. So who knows, it might be a smart idea to invest in the best meme coin on this blockchain and wait for the pump from the fund's investment. Or maybe you can even create your own token, promote it with the help of the community, and get significant funding from Avalanche. Of course, these are just my opinions, and it's not as easy as it sounds. In addition, you need to research this area, find real cases, stories, and user needs. So I don't recommend you get into this story if you don't have enough experience or desire to gain this experience. By the way, if there are GameFi fans among my viewers, then this blockchain is perfect for you. You can find Battle Royale, card games, and much more. I can't help but mention the game Shrapnel, which looks incredible. It is a shooter that is as good as the top games from Web 2 in terms of graphics and game. You have to admit, these shots are impressive. I think the games are really gaining momentum, and there will be many more beautiful, interesting, and action-packed products. So far, this game is in a closed test, which anyone could enter by simply leaving their application. And now these people can participate in various events and earn money without investing in the game. So I recommend keeping an eye on this game. Maybe they will open the testers' places again. By the way, would you play such a game if you could earn money with it? Share it in the comments. In the meantime, I'm moving on to my price prediction. No matter how positive the market is, I don't see any reason why it will continue to grow in the near future. It seems to me that we are going to see a good correction of 10 to 15% and then slowly return to positive values. I recently saw an interesting response from Miles Saylor about selling BTC.
Let's talk about your existing holdings. As I mentioned in the intro, now worth around $10 billion. You have paper gains of about 70% or so, which a lot of people would like to see that sort of return. At any point, would you sell? When would it make sense to take profits there?
Well, I've famously said I'm going to be buying the top forever. Bitcoin is the exit strategy. It is the strongest asset. So what we see right now is the Bitcoin has just emerged as $1 trillion asset.
Of course, if we look at the long term, we will see BTC at 100,000 or more. But we must not forget that there will be a correction before that, and not just one. And unless you're a whale like Michael, you need to be aware of these market corrections and be prepared for them. So before you make a decision to buy Avax, make sure you analyze the market. Look at it and understand if this is really the best time to get in. Well, I've warned you, so let's move on to the price prediction itself. I am actually bullish on Avax, but traditionally I start with a more negative scenario. Right now, the token is trading at $37, which is almost 60% below its all-time high. This is actually a pretty good result if you compare Avax to other crypto assets, as they have fallen much more. So my worst case scenario for the future of this coin is that Avax will return to its old highs and stay at these levels for some reason. Even with all the partnerships, new features, performance improvements, and growth of the entire crypto space, this scenario is unfortunately possible. So let's calculate how much money you need to become a millionaire. If you buy Avax now and sell it at $114, you need to have 6,898 coins to reach $1 million, which will cost you $256,070. I understand this is a huge amount, but don't rush to write that you will never become a millionaire. Even relatively small investments can bring results. If you invest $1,000, you can get more than 4 times the profit, and this is with the worst prediction. But let's talk about a more positive scenario. We've already considered the worst case scenario for a bull market, so I think it's time to think about what can happen in a normal scenario. If the bull run continues for no reason, it can ruin everything. We've already compared Solana and Avalanche, but they actually have more in common than you might think. Both blockchains are fast, cheap, and convenient for app development and other parts of the ecosystem. And while Avalanche still loses out to Solana in terms of ecosystem development, Avalanche itself is proving to be slightly better than Sol. So I think it's fair to compare Avalanche to Solana and look at the future potential of the former. If Avalanche reaches Solana's all-time high market cap, we will see almost 6 times the current price. That is, Avalanche's market cap will increase by a little less than 6 times, which is not very much for a bull market. Then we will see a new all-time high in the price of Avax, and I believe that this is a fairly objective price for this coin. At this price, it will be much easier to make $1 million profit. To do this, you need 4,749 Avax, which requires an investment of $176,000. And this is already much less than in the worst-case scenario for the price of the asset. But of course, do not forget that you can invest much less and still have a good result. And that was the usual conservative scenario. But what if we consider the super bull case? While I'm telling you my bullish view, write your conservative scenario for the Avax price in a bull market. We cannot ignore the fact that every new bull market period in the crypto market breaks previous records, increases liquidity in various segments of this industry, and significantly increases the total market capitalization. In this context, considering the potential of Avalanche, it is easy to imagine that we are on the verge of another significant upswing. Every cycle brings something new and unpredictable, so it's no surprise that the future could be even more exciting than we can imagine. If we compare Avax to Ethereum, both being representatives of blockchains with a huge development speed, we can see that although Avalanche is still quite young in the ecosystem, it has the potential to reach or even exceed the volumes that Ethereum has today. In this scenario, a record high of $736 per Avax coin is possible. Of course, this assumption is based on a belief that Avalanche's capabilities, supported by the technology and an active community of developers working tirelessly to develop this blockchain, in the long run, this scenario is quite realistic. So, if you dream of $1 million, according to current calculations, you will need to invest in 1,358 Avax coins, which currently costs about $50,000. This is an impressive amount, but it is worth remembering that you can start with a smaller investment. The main thing to remember is that waiting for the perfect moment can lead to you missing your chance, while others are making millions. It's essential to act wisely and decisively. Remember, this video is not financial advice, just my personal thoughts on the market. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the future growth of coins. Thanks for watching. This was CoinPost.